Hey, how's it going, everybody? Mandalorian, Season 3, we're back. It was nice seeing Mando again. I really like seeing Mando, seeing Grogu, Mando teaching Grogu how to be a Mandalorian. That was cool. But I feel like this episode was a bit of a letdown, especially compared to Season 1 and 2. And that's really reflected in the music. The music was a letdown for me. And while it used certain themes from Season 1 and 2, the way the themes were used, the way the other filler soundtrack was arranged, the way the original themes were arranged in this episode, I didn't like it. It's not I didn't like it. It's not that it was bad, but it was definitely not as good as Season 1 and 2. And this episode was not as good as Season 1 and 2 for me. So the soundtrack in this episode is a great metaphor to how I feel about the rest of the episode. It just didn't live up to Season 1 and 2. And I don't know, man. It was like the way the episode started off, it was cool. I liked it. I thought the CG was good. Seeing that giant dinosaur fish-looking creature come out of the water while they were doing the ceremony, right? The induction ceremony for the Mandalorians. I thought that kid was going to be a young Din Djarin for a sec, and then we had the Naboo starfighter come in and wipe that creature out. So I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, that sequence was cool. Seeing all the Mandalorians fight together was cool. But then the entire episode was pretty much a setup for the rest of the season, saying, hey, guys, I took my helmet off last season, and now I have to, go on this quest to be forgiven, I have to bathe in the mines of Mandalore.
Of mine!
And that's going to, do some magic, and I'm not gonna, forgive myself or whatever. So we get to this planet called Navarro, and Marty Byrde shows up to fight Mando. But honestly, as soon as we arrived in this planet, it reminded me, I felt like I was in Lumbridge in RuneScape. Like, it was like a little marketplace town. I felt like I was in like a fantasy RPG. So pretty much here, Mando wants to come back here. He wants to get this droid, the droid that almost killed him before, right? Trying to hunt after Grogu, trying to get that droid so that he can have a companion to go with him to Mandalore. So, he doesn't die, he has some protection. So, but that thing needs to be fixed because it's completely destroyed. And I think they brought back the best part of the sequel trilogy, or they brought back his race. I don't know if that was actually him or not, but the legend Babu Frick was here. Hey! Or either it was Babu Frick or it was someone of his race. But honestly, Babu Frick was the best part of the sequel trilogy. The rest of that sequel trilogy can go die. And here's another thing that I did like. As they were going through hyperspace, you could see these creatures swimming through space. And I always had this idea that there would be these massive planet-sized creatures that swam and lived in space. Like we have whales and giant squid and all these massive creatures in the ocean. Just like that, you would have these creatures that live in space, not on a planet. Literally, they're swimming around in space like it's the ocean. So that was cool that we saw something like that. I don't know if they expand on that in the Star Wars lore or anything, but I thought that was cool to see. I gotta say, Mando is an honest guy. He brought a crystallized piece of something from the mines of Mandalore. It had some Mandalorian inscription on it, and he was like, "Hey, what if the mines still exist? What if they're not completely destroyed?" And the armorer lady, she was like, "No, they're completely gone." And then he showed him the evidence. He showed her the evidence, and said, "No, look, they might still exist. I can go and bathe, right? And I'll bring you back evidence that I went." He could have literally said, I went and bathed. Here's the evidence. He could have said that because, what else evidence are you going to bring back? So he was honest, man. He could have actually passed it off as he already did it. But that just shows he believes in it. He believes in these Mandalorian traditions. And later in the episode, when we meet Bo-Katan, she obviously doesn't care. She's like, your traditions. She doesn't care about these traditions. But I don't know. All in all, the episode did not blow me away. We got a cool little space battle with the pirates, but I think honestly one of the and this was really prevalent in that scene with the pirates. is the music. I mean, it's not that I don't like it. It's just nowhere near as good as season 1 and 2. So I don't know what happened. Did they get rid of the guy who did season 1 and 2? Because honestly, that's been the best. That's honestly one of the best parts. Boba Fett soundtrack was awesome. Mando soundtrack is awesome. But this season is falling flat. And that goes for the whole story of this episode too. It was short. Nothing much happened. It was literally just setting up the rest of the season. Hey, we're back in Mando Town. And the music didn't hit. But I'm not saying it was a bad episode, but comparing it to what we got in season 1 and 2, it's a downgrade for me. So let me know down in the comment section what you guys thought about the episode, and I will see you guys in episode 2. Take care. Bye-bye.